Welcome here, everyone. I'm going to introduce our presenter for this evening, Janet Yochim, who is a longtime member of the Manitoba Band Association community, educator, retired educator from Virden, Manitoba, where she taught at the high school. Used to be a very active part of the community. We were just talking about grandkids and all the fun that goes along with having many grandkids to care for and share that abundant love with. And we're grateful that you are able to spend part of your evening with us and sharing some information.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. For those of you who don't know me, I've taught in Virden, Manitoba for, I think, 32 years. I taught junior high through high school. So I actually started band in grade 5 and took care of the program right to grade 12. So as I go through this presentation too, just so that you know, I am going to read the very first part because I didn't want to miss anything out. So if I'm looking down, please excuse me, because I'm not used to Zoom anymore. But once we get into the pieces, I'll get chatting about them, and I hopefully won't be quite as nervous as I am right now. So welcome, everyone. When I taught my beginner bands, I always would tell them as we were going along that, you know what, you can play as well as my high school band does and sound just as good as them, except you may be playing with a few less notes and a few less rhythms. And if I believe this to be true, I needed to make sure that I chose repertoire that helped them succeed to this higher level. This takes intentional planning. And if you want your bands to succeed, you need to plan for them to succeed. I believe it was at a session at Avenues at Brandon University where Dr. Wendy Zander told us all that we should track what we play. So Brent, if you could throw that one little handout into the chat there, and then you can just kind of take a look at it. And what this was an Excel sheet that we used to keep track of our pieces. And you can add different headings. I put some of the headings that I could remember that I used, but not all of them. So feel free to change it and use it as you can see fit. But this was very helpful in a few ways. From year to year, I'd look at all the key signatures that I'm going through and making sure that I'm telling my kids the key signatures are our friends. And if we want them to play in different key signatures, we have to actually take them there and not just expect them to know. So sometimes too, we don't realize that we're just sticking to a few signatures. So having this tracking really helps going, oh yeah, I should go and look at some other areas to look at. Some other interesting things that I also looked at was I wanted to make sure that all the parts were interesting. Maybe not all in one piece, but that I had something challenging for different people or different groups in the band. So I want to make sure I'm looking at my percussion parts and making sure that they're not just all playing snare drum, bass drum parts. And I want to make sure that even the tubas and my lower brass have melody. If I want them to be good players at the high school level, they need to be able to play melodies even at a younger level. And we all start them off that way. It's just we have to kind of push to make sure that we're looking at those in our pieces that we choose. I also take a look at different time signatures. Again, if we want them to be playing in different time signatures as they get into the higher level music, we need to be starting them at a younger level. And so I use, as I put on the presentation here, I use the GIA rhythm cards. I used to have them laminated, and we used to use them in almost all of our pieces. I'd use them as warm-ups. We'd use them before we'd even play the piece. We'd be going through a bunch of the rhythm cards. And I also used apro rhythms. So apro rhythms, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it's a company out of Alberta, and they have 4-bar rhythms that start off on one page, and they start with just half notes and whole notes, and they continually progressively get harder as you go through the whole um, program. So you can actually, we used to call it sticks and pucks. We used to put on some favorite pieces that the kids are listening to on like some pop music that they love to listen to, and they would play through the rhythms on the pucks using drumsticks. And so we got used to reading rhythms really easily, and then those transferred over into your pieces. So Apro Rhythms is also a very good one to use. Um, the other couple of things that I used to look at were different styles of repertoire. Once you start tracking, you may find that, hey, I'm doing marches all the time, instead of switching things up and trying some different types and styles of music. Also, one thing that I put onto my chart was I always wanted to look at where my band was weak. So if my band was weak in clarinet section, I want to make sure that I choose some pieces that are going to challenge my clarinets and make them better players, make the parts interesting, but also find pieces that challenge them. You can also do that with your um, groups that are doing really super well too. If my clarinet section happens to be really good, then you choose some repertoire that you can show them off a little bit. Um, so that's kind of how I chose some of my repertoire. I don't always look at the new repertoire that's out. I sometimes go back and look through other repertoire, seasoned repertoire. And I find lots of gems in there. And those are some of the ones that I'm going to share with you today. There is going to be some new level 1 repertoire coming out, and you can throw that into the chat too, Brent, if you'd like. The Westman band directors here have a level 1 composition competition. Say that 5 times fast. And they actually had, I think it was, what was it, about 6 or 7 pieces put into there. And they have the pieces in a YouTube channel, so you can go and listen to them. So they're brand new pieces. They're really, really good pieces that you might be able to purchase and use in your program. So you can have a listen to those later on too. All right. So before I get into the very first piece, I just wanted to say these are pieces that I'm sharing with you. People ask me for my tried and true. So don't forget, these are very biased on my part. I have a very strong bias to some composers, especially to Kelly, because I was able to conduct for him one time. And so he kind of holds a special place in my heart. So I do use a few of the composers quite a bit. But I never do I never use the same composer, or try not to use the same composer in the same year. I usually spread them out because they all have different strengths. And by tracking your music, you should know what those strengths are, and you'll be able to flip around and use them. So I hope that you enjoy some of the music that we're going to listen to today and take you through. And I'll start by Haturukoi. Haturukoi, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this or not. It was one I almost always used in my beginner band. It only has 4 pitches in it. Lots of really interesting percussion. And this is a piece that you get to put together however you want. You can sing the piece, you can play the piece, you can have some of the sections sing while others play. You can, in the middle section, there's a drum part that goes in there that you can actually do a bunch of solo things through. So it's really kind of a fun piece that you can put together. And it's about fireflies, which is really kind of neat. I don't know if we'll play the whole piece, but I'll play little bits of it for you as we go along. And if anybody wants to hear something or all the way through, just interrupt me, okay? And so here is, hoping that our fingers are crossed that the sound is all going to work here. Here we go, Haturukoi. So you heard some of the sticks that they were playing too. I hope you heard that. The sticks actually, all the students play sticks. So we all had drumsticks that they clicked together during the piece too. And if you want to hear just near the end of it, here we go. So it just kind of repeats, and however, like I said, you want to put it together. Just the ending of it so you can hear the ending. Oh, sorry. So it's a very interesting piece with all of that going on. And even though there's four pitches in there, I think it's really kind of an interesting way to put things together. I don't know if you want to ask a few questions now before I go on. And if you do, maybe just quickly, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like find more information on this composer because whenever I hear a composer that's like new to me, I just kind of want to see what else they've got out and just kind of about their background a little bit sometimes. And I can't find if like she has a website or if she has other music that anyone else is like familiar with, just for me to also just like look into.
You know what? I can take a look for that for you. I do know she is an I'm going to say older composer. From, did a lot of arranging. But if I look in the Teaching Music Through Performance book, I know that she's in there, and I can send you a little bit of that. Okay. Now, one of my favorite composers is Pierre Laplante. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with him or not. Um, One of the now this piece is actually you can only buy it online. It's an only it used to be out years and years and years ago, and they stopped printing it, and now it's just online as an e-print. Pierre Laplante writes music that's really interesting and gives almost everybody in the band melody at some point. This piece always spoke to me because way back when I was living on the farm, we actually had a barn dance. So it was really neat. And we talk about it with the kids and talk about how they always got together and had dances in the barn when it was first made. Hand clamping, foot stomping, really neat, interesting parts for everyone. And so this is Barn Dance Saturday night. So just a fun kind of piece to go along. Now, I always took it a little faster than that. I always felt it had a little bit more, I needed to move a little bit more. And it does have first and second endings in it, which is really nice to start teaching that at a younger level too. African marching song, Sia Humba. So this is arranged by John O'Reilly. So this was one piece that we've done quite a bit of, but we always did it in tandem with our African drummer that used to come out from Winnipeg all the time. So Coffee Man used to come out to our school and do a whole school-wide drumming session with us. And when he was there, we got him to teach the band kids this song, Sia Humba. We also learned the parts by ear. And then we changed, the piece is set up really well. The percussion parts are not they're not African. They're just snare drum, bass drum. So when you hear this today, the recording on here is just snare drum, bass drum things. We changed the whole percussion section into and used African drumming in it and used authentic instruments in it. What we also did in the middle of the piece, and this was Coffee Man had suggested us to do this too, was that we'd open up the middle of it and have solos for people to play. So they would actually do a section in the middle here where they go ba ba boo da, and then somebody would do a short little solo, and then they kind of go back and forth like that, which is really, you know, happens in African music quite a bit. So this is a really fun piece. Now the recording you're going to listen to is not our recording with the authentic drumming and everything in it, but I hope you can hear how this would be a really fun piece to do. Kids love it. They learn it all by ear first, and then when they take a look at the rhythms, it doesn't freak them out as much because there is some pretty tricky rhythms in here, right? Again, I use the GIA cards. Once they've learned and heard the rhythms, you show them the rhythm cards, and then they can learn the piece that way. So here is African Marching Song. So I think you get an idea of that one. Really cool piece. Like I said, changing the percussion parts makes it so much fun. And them knowing the song just makes it, they just buy into it so much. Questions? Nice to see you.
Is that using dotted eighth rhythms or dotted quarter rhythms?
Dotted eighths.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
But
is.
if you teach it, yeah, if you teach it by rote, you kind of get around the theory of it. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. And actually that's a good point. Like sometimes when they write some of the pieces for level one, right, they write them easier so that they can read it. This way, by teaching it by ear, it's good for their ear training. Plus they get to see these more difficult rhythms, right? And you can tie the two of them together a little more that way. Good question. And I think Trish is here. And Trish, you told me about the Minute Arachnidia by Robert Jordan. So this is the Itsy Bitsy Spider. But it's really cute. It's got lots and lots of percussion in it. And everybody knows the tune, of course, but it's all written for level 1. Everybody gets the melody, and it's just a really fun piece. And again, you're getting them to read through things a lot more. And there's a canon section in here that's really awesome too. So here's the minute arachnidia. I think you get the idea of how it goes through there. Really cute though, right? And he gives the percussion, it's kind of spotlights them. You can take them to the front of the class and have them at the front during the whole concert and things like that. And then they're kind of special too. But again, everybody gets the melody in this, and away we go. So lots of fun. Okay, and we'll go on to the next one. And Pierre Laplante is another one of my favorites. So if you know me at all, you know me. I love Pierre Laplante too. Pierre Laplante is a great writer. And this is one of my all-time favorite pieces because it was SpongeBob SquarePants when I was teaching. I don't know if the kids still know that or not. But now, of course, sea shanties are back in. And of course, they want to sing them all the time. So this is Blow the Man Down. It's a call and response. Pierre Laplante writes again so that everybody gets the melody throughout the piece. All kinds of really neat compositional techniques in his. He's got augmentation and diminution and all kinds of really cool writing in his stuff. And it's a level 1. Okay, so this is 6/8 time. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there's a few repeats in it. But it's really well. So here is All Ye Young Sailors. Lower faster, right? I get the idea of that one too. I didn't want to play all of them as I'm looking at my time and going, oh my gosh. And we'll go on to the next one, unless somebody has a question about All You Young Sailors. Great getting them to do 6/8. All notes are not created equal. All people are created equal. All notes are not. And that's a good one to start going with the weight on beat 1 and on beat 2, and the other notes aren't quite as important. Whirlwind by Jody Blackshaw. Can you see? I also like the interesting pieces too. This one's very interesting. This piece has 4 notes in it. Have any of you done a whirlwind at all? Oh, a couple. No, and it's got whirly tubes. So who loves whirly tubes, right? This is another piece that you create soundscapes with. Great percussion in here, and it's got something for everyone again. And it's only 4 notes. This melody can be played by almost any instrument. It doesn't have to be alto sax. And then it goes, that's basically the melody there. And it goes on, and you'll have to have a listen to it because it does go on for quite some time. And depending how you put the piece together, this is a really interesting piece. You just have to interrupt me if you want to talk. Piece by Frank Kelly. Not sure if you know this one or not. It is a level 1 piece, beautiful legato piece, about 0.5 to 1. Parts range less than about an octave. Diatonic notes, B flat concert, but chromatic note. My students love this piece, and they didn't really love slow pieces all the time, but they really love this piece. I'll play just a little bit of it for you. Great percussion. And I'm just going to stop it there because it is kind of this, not the same, but it's similar to the end of the piece. Really nice lyrical piece. Lots of music in there to do, right? So that's one of my faves. Country Wildflowers, Larry Dan. Larry Dan, and I've got him in here a few times, everyone. Oh, my favorite. For slow pieces, for his writing is just, I think, unparalleled as far as slow music goes. Like, I just love his stuff. He writes with such musicality, and his percussion parts, although there aren't a lot, you can play around a lot with them, like try to get them to use different mallets and discuss why you use different mallets on different instruments and things. But his pieces always paint such beautiful pictures for me. And this is Country Wildflowers. And I'm going to take you to the near the end of the piece. It does. For me, that's just I just love his writing. And I did put 2 or 3 of his pieces in there, more because I rotate through. I don't do the same one every single year. I rotate them through. I even use them with my high school band just to sight read through, because they're so well written. And then you got to throw in a little bit of ragtime music. So Royalty Rag was a fun one that I kind of stumbled upon by William Ryden. And this sets up for a couple of pieces that I do in my high school band, but one of them being Blue Goose Rag. So this takes them into something that you don't normally hear bands play, and I'll just do a little snippet of it for you. And here is Royalty Rag. So it's just a fun little piece that goes along. Lots of lower brass in there, right? They just have go to town a little later on in the piece too. So it's lots of fun. Lots of neat percussion parts too, again, right? They're not used to playing in that style sometimes. So it's really a great one to throw into your music, just as something different to do. A shaker hymn, you probably know this one, most of you, by John O'Reilly. I think I'm going to flip through because I'm looking at the time. I'm way over time already, and where we're going to have questions and things. If you want to hear, how about if you want to hear something, interrupt me and I'll play it for you. How's that? And I'll just quickly flip through. Now I only put a few of these onto slides too. My whole list will be sent out to you. I think Brent's going to either throw it in the chat or give it to you. And I put links to all the pieces, so you can just go and listen to them all. So this is just your basic shaker hymn. The nice thing I like about it is there is the repeats in it. It does have some diminution and things in it, and it's just a neat sounding rendition of a shaker hymn. Any takers on that one? And then we'll go to Nottingham Castle. So Nottingham Castle, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this one, but it's a neat march, and it's in some different keys, as you can see. And the nice thing about this is it sets you up for 3 airs from Gloucester and courtly airs and dances. So it sets up these pieces that they could be doing at the high school. I'll play just a little bit of it so you can kind of hear how this goes, because it is a little different march. So it changes right there. It's kind of a neat twist to it. Of course, now it's oh gosh, I got to take 2 minutes to talk about this. Okay. Have you done prehistoric suite, anybody? Yeah, like it's like the best. Lots of times I know, and if you haven't listened to it, please go through and listen to it. This is a really cute little um, four four movement suite. Pterodactyl is the hardest part. My kids all knew different words that went with all the different melodies. So I think the flute part goes one. Oh, I wish that I could fly. Oh, I wish that I could fly. And somebody else goes, flying is fun. Flying is fun. And it goes on from there. And I think the kids actually wrote words to all, like the whole tune. But since they're not used to playing in 3/4, this is a great way to get them playing in 3/4. And making up little words and songs to it really helps. We did pictures, we did all kinds of things with this one. Whoop, now I did too many. Psalm 42. So I have to spend just teeny tiny Optimist Festival. Way back when it was Optimist Festival, we did this one, and we actually stood around the room and we had it memorized and played it. And that was the year that the WSO, I think it was you, Brent, maybe not, came out to Verdun, and I got to conduct the WSO playing Psalm 42 with our band. And so this was a really neat piece. Have a listen to it at times. It starts off with a trumpet solo, and then everybody plays the melody or plays the piece after that. Just a beautiful piece by Samuel Hazo. A Shaker Gift song by Frank Kelly is not the one you think it is. This is Here Take This Lovely Flower. And it's a beautiful 6/8 one. I actually did this piece with a grade 8 band and rewrote parts and did it with about 12 players. And it was beautiful. And it's just a really well-written piece, transitions from B flat to E flat. And there's a beautiful 2-part canon. So if you have a little bit in there, and actually my daughter played this piece when she was in grade 8, and she still talks about this piece as one of her favorites. The Monster Under the Bed. Okay, you got to do a Monster Under the Bed because it's just a cool piece. Maybe I'll end with that one, and you can take a look at the other pieces maybe later. Oh my gosh, I did way too many, Brent. Sorry. Monster Under the Bed. We even made movies that went along with the music and everything. It is such a cool piece because it's got whirly tubes, of course, and you can actually hear the monsters, and they jump out at different times and stuff. So cool. I'm going to play you just a little bit. Lots of chromatics. So this is a great way to work on chromatics with your students. So it's really fun. Really fun. Creepy Crawly Creatures, I think, by Balmages was a new one that's out. And you could even do it before this one. They could kind of go together. I think I better skip over these if we want to stay on time, right, Brent? I did gathering but you're going to have all the pieces here, okay? Blue Orchid is also a cool tango. So take a look at the tangos. What other one? Rhythm Stand. There's just too many good ones. Oh, some of you know Rhythm Stand. I can see. Okay. And Alligator Alley. If you have a bassoon, you gotta play this piece. Okay. And we even, like I said, I rewrote it for Barry Sachs. Such a cool piece. Now it is a level 3, but so much fun. And now I'm really over time, but thank you. I talk too much. I'm sorry. But feel free to contact me. There's my email. So please feel free to contact me at any time and ask any questions you want. Remember that these are just some of the pieces I chose. They're not all the pieces I do. I do lots by Brian Balmages and other people too. But I thought you knew most of those, so I was trying to pick some ones you might not know, but some of my favorites.
That was amazing, Janet. Thank you. And like I say, we'll share the full list as a link accessible. I've put it in the chat, and for folks who will be watching this later on, it'll be in the YouTube comments and available other ways on our mentorship page as well, so that it's accessible to everyone. And yeah, thank you for this, Janet, and thank you for joining us, everyone. That was